Hey friends, it's Amy Dove, the Keto Queen. It's Monday. I'm home a little early today because my daughter had wisdom teeth surgery. So since I'm home early, I want to go ahead and get started with dinner. Guys, I know there are so many amazing variations of a keto-friendly lasagna, but this is my favorite one and I love it. And I usually cook it about once a month or once every other month because we love Italian food at our house. You can do it more often. You can actually freeze it in sections. But I want to show you how easy it is. We've got 3 different layers. We have our meat layer, we have a noodle layer, and then we've got a cheesy layer. So guys, if you're interested, give me some hearts and go ahead and share this video so it's on your page. Here's my little baby girl coming in after some ice cream so she can have soft foods and ice cream. Bless her. She's doing good. She's been sleeping this afternoon.
My chin and my lip I can't feel.
Yeah, she can't feel it. She had wisdom teeth removed. All right, guys, so we're starting off with this super easy noodle layer. I want to show you the finished layer I already did because we're making 2 layers to our lasagna. This is the first layer. It's done. Look how pretty it is, guys. It is so pretty, and it really does not taste like anything except like a noodle. I call this my noodle. This is my noodle layer for the lasagna. You see it's a little thick. What we're going to do is take this and cut it into strips. It's going to look just like noodles. Guys, when I fixed this the very first time, no one knew that there was no noodles in that lasagna, and it was awesome. I'm telling you, everyone loved it. So I'm fixing to show you how to make the noodle layer of the lasagna. We're going to start off with 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. So I have 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. We're going to put a cup and a half of mozzarella cheese, and you want to use a low moisture mozzarella cheese. Why? I have no idea. That's just what I was told a long time ago, and I went with it. Guys, this is the same bread layer or noodle layer that I use for a lot of casseroles, and I just love this. So we have 2 eggs, 1.5 cups of mozzarella cheese, and 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. We just added a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Now, my son-in-law does not love Italian seasoning like I do. So I'm going to do less Italian seasoning tonight than I normally would, just because him and Haley are staying over for just a little while longer before he takes her home. You know, she got married, so she don't live here. She don't live with me no more. So I want to show you this. This layer is so delicious. It's very necessary, and it's absolutely delicious. So very fast. I've got my oven on 350, guys. I have my oven on 350, and you're just going to take this mix and you're going to the parchment paper. Now, I highly recommend you use parchment paper for this so it don't stick at all. We're going to take this noodle off. Okay, so we're going to take that off of my parchment paper. That way I can just reuse. I like to reuse around the house. And we're going to take this and pour it right into the parchment paper we already used. Here's my fork. So we're just going to pour it in. You'll see it's semi-thick, but you can still move it around. What we're going to do is take it and move it around this parchment paper, making it as thin as we can. You want a thin noodle, right? So mine's a little thicker, and that's okay. It's the way I like it. But you can make this as big as you want, honestly. It just needs a very thin layer to cook. So what we're going to do now is take this and spread it out. Now I'm using a 9x13 baking dish because I'm going to put this into a 9x13 casserole dish to bake the lasagna when I finish. But you can make it even bigger. You can use a bigger pan if you want to. You can do this 1-sheet pan to make a smaller lasagna. So you don't have to have 2 layers. You could just, you don't have to have 2 pans of the noodle. You actually can make this and then use a smaller casserole dish to make this for fewer people. So what I'm doing is going to use 2 pounds of ground beef. You can make this with 1 pound of ground beef. Cut this into a smaller casserole. See what I'm saying? I hope I'm making sense. All right, give me some hearts if you love lasagna. Yes, ma'am. No, we're going to wait till 7. Got a little while longer.
I thought I was supposed to take every 2 hours.
No, sweetheart. All right, we're going to stir this around. Put your ice back on. We're keeping Haley iced up every 10 minutes like the doctor said. She's been a good patient. She's been sleeping the whole afternoon. All right, so you just flatten this out as thin as you want to. Make sure it's pretty even because you don't want a big, thick part of the noodle. And I'm just moving it around. Now this takes about 15 to 20 minutes to cook in the oven on 350. I got mine on 350. You want to cook it a little longer, you can. I'm going to show you again what it looks like finished because you want to make sure it looks like this. So this is what it looks like going in. Let me throw it in. I'll be right back. All right, so this is what it looked like when it came out. You just want it to be brown around the edges. You don't want to burn it. You want it to be brown. Isn't it beautiful? Now we're going to take a pizza cutter. And we're fixing to make noodles with our noodle. Yes, I'm doing this right on my counter, my dummy. It's okay. We're going to just make the noodles right here with my pizza cutter. You can do them as thin or as thick as you want to. And what I was saying a while ago, if you just want to make one pan, you can cut this in half. Use a smaller casserole dish if you're cooking for a few people. So the very first layer of our lasagna is the bread layer. We're going to wait for that second one to come out of the oven. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start putting this in my 9x13 baking dish, where we're going to let this bake and get all the cheese good and bubbly. So guys, look how, I mean, they're so cute. I love these. I just broke my noodle. It's okay. We're just going to put this right into the pan. Now, have you guys had this recipe before? I know there's so many variations of keto-friendly lasagna. Guys, I found this and I tweaked it a little bit to make it my own. I love Italian seasoning, so I changed it up just a little bit. I really love this. If you've tried it before, I would love to hear how well you enjoyed it. Or if you didn't, it's okay. It's so good. All right, I'm going to put this over to the side. Here's our first layer of the noodle. All right, the next thing is my cheesy layer. I love the cheesy layer. The cheesy layer you can do with or without. That is 100% up to you. If you do without, it's okay. It's still going to taste great, but I love cheese. Don't y'all love cheese? You can do this with ricotta cheese or cottage cheese, depending on what you prefer. I love ricotta cheese. And I'm not going to do as much as I normally would because Dakota does not like this layer that well. But we're going to do a cup of ricotta cheese. Normally I would put this in each layer. I'm just going to do it one time. Or I'm going to use this very sparingly. All right, so 1 cup of ricotta. I don't want to cheat myself. I love this. This is my favorite layer of the lasagna. All right, we're going to put in 1 cup of ricotta. Looks yummy. And then we're going to do a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. So I'm using some shredded Parmesan. That smells good already. I love my cheesy layer of the lasagna. Does everybody love the cheesy layer? I mean, if you're all about the cheesy layer, put cheesy in the comments. I'd love to see who loves the cheesy layer the best. So we have a cup of ricotta, 1/2 cup of Parmesan. We're going to add 1 egg to this layer. 1 egg. So we're going to pop this open if I can get it. There we go. I'm not the best at cracking eggs. I know I've had plenty of people tell me that on the page. Thank you, guys. I'm not the best at cracking eggs, but I got a garbage can right next to me and a paper towel. All right, so now we're going to add a little bit more Italian. So I love Italian. Now, I would normally, this is crazy, I know. I would normally put a whole tablespoon of Italian in there. Dakota's not a big fan, so I'm going to do a teaspoon, see what it looks like. I might do 2 teaspoons, or I'm going to do a hefty teaspoon, but I normally would put a whole tablespoon in there. You can do it without the Italian if you want to. You could add a little bit of garlic, which that sounds good. I think I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to make this up as I go. I'm putting some garlic in there because that sounds delicious. Oh, yes. Oh, I did not make plans for this part, but oh, it sounds yummy. I'm going to do just a 1/2 teaspoon, though. Ooh, y'all know I love some garlic. I hardly ever put garlic in here, but it sounds just yummy. Ooh, yes. All right. Now we're going to mix this up. This is our cheesy layer. It's going to look so yummy. Oh, here comes my husband. Y'all have to forgive me. Oh, I can't do this. I'm trying to hold my phone and do this at the same time, but it's not working. All right, that's not going to work. That's all right. Hey, babe. All right, so we're mixing up the 1 egg, the 1 cup of ricotta cheese, the 1/2 cup of Parmesan, a teaspoon this time of Italian, and a little 1/2 teaspoon of garlic. I just changed it up. Guys, guess what? You don't have to write all this down. I'm putting the recipe in the post, so as soon as I finish this live video, you'll see the recipe, and then guess what? It's going to go on my blog tonight. So it's going to be a new recipe for the blog. I have a recipe blog that went live last week or a couple of weeks ago that I've been adding to, so this is going to be in there for you guys tonight before I go to bed, so I'm super excited. Now look how pretty that is. I mean, that is just beautiful. Normally I would do it more Italian, but since Dakota's not a fan, I'm going to be so sweet and nice to him and do less. All right. So another thing Dakota loves is marinara. So I went overboard on marinara this time. See how I tweaked to make everybody happy? I love to make everybody happy. I want everybody to be happy with their food. So I did a little bit of extra marinara. So our first layer is the noodle, right? We're going to put a little bit of this cheesy layer on now. Oh, I got to take a picture of this. So I'm taking a picture for the blog. So you guys will have to forgive me. I am taking pictures as we're talking.
Oh, she did perfect.
What, baby?
Parmesan.
About what? Y'all making fun of me?
Uh-huh.
They're making fun of me. Because y'all mean to me. Haley says she had surgery. She don't have time to make fun of me. All right. All right. So now we're going to take a little bit of this cheesy layer, guys. We're going to put it right on top of the noodles. We're going to spread it out. Oh, and look, I got just enough for both layers. Yay. Okay. So I'm just going to do it thin. I love the cheesy layer, though. So if I was making this just for myself, I would have literally this for both layers. I know it's a lot, but that's how I love it. And I don't cook this all the time. So somebody's going to ask me, I know they are, they're going to ask me how many carbs are in this. Guys, it really depends on your ingredients. I can tell you how much it is in my lasagna, but it really depends on your ingredients. So I love to teach you guys how to look at carbs, and I'm going to do that in just a second with the marinara, okay? All right, we're just going to add a little bit more, and this is not going to be a whole lot like I normally would love, but that's okay. Ooh, it looks good, don't it, y'all? We're fixing to put the meat layer on. It's going to go next, and then we're going to add another noodle, another cheesy, and another meat. I mean, that's as easy as it is to make a lasagna. All right. Just trying to stir it. I want to make sure this is... Ooh, man, it smells really good. All right. Sorry, I know it's loud. Okay, the meat layer. Let's get it. All right, I'm using 2 pounds of ground beef and a whole jar of Victoria's marinara. I'm going to show you the marinara I'm using. I posted a picture of it just a little bit ago. Oh, this is heavy. Let me get that. Let me sit this down. That is heavy. Let me give me a little pot holder. I'll put this down because it's hot. Okay, so all I did for the meat layer is I cooked 2 pounds of ground beef. I did put a little bit of onion in there. Dakota doesn't love onion, but it's so tiny you can't see it. He ain't gonna be able to crunch on it. It's super cooked, very good. If you don't want to use onion, you can use onion powder, but I do like a little onion flavor. So we're gonna take some of this meat, put it right on top of this cheesy layer, spread it out. Jim, baby, you done resting?
I'm taking a bit more rolls in.
Oh, she's taking care of her own mouth now. All right, I'm proud of her. All right, we're gonna take this and just spread it out with this fork. I think it'll be easier. Be careful because it's hot behind you. Now, again, if you're doing a small casserole, you can make this small if you want to. You can use 1 pound of ground beef and a 9x9 baking dish used with 1 pan of the noodles. I'm gonna do a little bit more. That looks so yummy. Now, some people also put mozzarella cheese in between the layers. I don't. I just put mozzarella over the top because I already have my beautiful cheesy layer right there. I am going to check out y'all's comments. So if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments section. I got my timer on that cheesy layer. I mean, on my noodle layer. Woo, don't that look good? Now, if we want extra marinara, we can pour it over the top. But this is looking mighty fine. So let's see. We've got our bread. We've got our cheesy layer. We've got our meat layer. Now I'm just waiting on the bread. I mean, it's that fast and easy. If I wasn't doing this live for you guys, I would have already had it together. I'd have had both those layers cooked together, but I wanted to show you what it looked like uncooked and then what it looks like when it comes out. So I wanted to mix it for you to see the consistency of what it should look like. I'm going to read over these layers again for you, but guys, it's going to be in this post when I finish up. The noodle is made with 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, 1.5 cups of mozzarella cheese, 2 eggs, and a teaspoon of Italian. You just mix that up, pour it into your parchment paper. I used a 9x13 baking dish. You can use whatever size you like. Spread it super thin, put it in the oven on 350 for about 15 to 20 minutes until it browns around the edges. You guys saw what it looked like. It was beautiful. You're gonna fix to see the other one in a minute. And then you make the cheesy filling. Now this you don't have to have. I love this. The cheesy filling is 1 cup of ricotta cheese, 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon or less of Italian seasoning, and I just added a little garlic powder in there too just a second ago. I didn't add any salt and pepper. I don't think salt and pepper is necessary for a lasagna, but if you want to put a little bit of salt and pepper in any of these layers, you certainly can. I do have that in the recipe because sometimes I just do. And then we've got the meat layer. The meat layer is simple. I just used 2 pounds of ground beef and I used a whole jar of Victoria's low carb marinara. So normally I buy Rayo's because that's what our store has. But when our store gives us options, I like to try and buy cheaper versions of a low carb marinara when I can. So I've had this one before. It's a Victoria. I actually really enjoy it. The thing I love about Rayo's is it's amazing. Like you just pour it out of the jar. You don't have to taste it because it's wonderful. If you get other low carb marinaras, you might want to taste it before you just move on like you would with a Rao's, because it may need extra Italian or extra garlic or whatever flavor you like, because they're not equal. I mean, I'll promise, I will tell you I like this one, but I love Rao's more. But I knew I was buying several things this week and I wanted to keep my grocery bill under 150, and groceries have gone up a little bit. So I chose the Victoria this time. It is really a lot cheaper and it's really good. All right, guys, do you have any questions for me? I'm fixing to read my comments real fast while we're waiting on that cheese layer. And then I'm going to jump off. I mean, this is how fast. When we finish with our next layer, noodle, cheesy, meat, we'll top it off with mozzarella, stick in the oven, let that mozzarella heat up, and we'll be ready to eat. I'm doing a little early tonight, so I know Ricky's going to be happy. Let me turn this camera around so I can see if you guys have any questions for me. Let's see. I'm going to grab a seat real fast. Oh, let's see. If you guys have had this lasagna recipe that I've posted before, I would love to know what you thought about it. Make sure you share this video, guys, so you can go back to your page and find it. And then also we can show other people how easy it is to eat low carb. Like you don't have to eat an extravagant, shelf type meal. I mean, you can make things yourself and make it really easy and delicious. I got this measuring spoon from a friend on this page, actually. It come from Pampered Chef, and I actually love it too. Thank you, Terry. I just told Haley a while ago you texted to check on her. Hey, Terry, make sure my Venmo money came through too. Oh, no, you guys can't lose me. There's my husband. Hey, Lori, she loves this lasagna recipe. Haley, you better listen to your mama, Kathy said. She's listening to me. She's been a very good patient. And her husband's been here laying on the other couch with her. Made Ricky's meat cabbage soup tonight. Oh, man, Georgia, that is so good. I actually was going to cook it last Sunday, but something come up. I can't remember if somebody invited us somewhere or what it was, but I ended up skipping out on it. But it is so good, that meat lovers cabbage soup, guys. It's in the blog, so make sure you check out the blog later. Kathy loves ricotta. Wendy loves that cheesy layer. So does Sharon. So does Connie. So does Kim. So does Debbie, who loves the cheesy layer. I sure do. Tina loves this recipe, always makes 2 pans. Do you put yours? Yes, and she puts hers in the freezer. So I haven't put mine in the freezer because I usually cook it when I know we're having guests, or I'll take it to work for leftovers or to my employees at work and let them share it with me. So I rarely ever freeze mine, but I know you can. Just put in the keto pizza on the low carb tortilla. It's so yummy. I love it. It does crisp up and it's got like this. I love it, Debbie. I'm so glad you're enjoying them. Haley actually taught me how to do that. Haley did that first. Let's see. This takes time, but it's worth it. Yeah, it takes a couple of minutes. It takes a couple of minutes longer than my traditional 30 minutes in and out of the kitchen cleaning and everything, only because you got to cook that noodle. It's like you got to cook your noodle. It takes 15 to 20 minutes, so you have to kind of wait on that unless you cook it ahead of time. Yes, Deborah loves to take this to church functions. Does everyone know it's keto, or do you serve it up? Why bother to cut the noodle layer? You don't have to. I just like for it to look like a lasagna. So when I've had people eat this with me, they do not know it's keto. Like they do not know that that's not noodle. And it just looks really pretty. My blog, Donna, is amyketoqueen.com. amyketoqueen.com. Julie, I'm doing intermittent fasting. I usually eat 1 to 2 meals a day. And I eat it within my eating window, which is usually 12 to 8 or less.
I'm not asleep.
Oh, Mama's calling to check up on her now. Man, I don't know why I'm freezing. I don't want to freeze, guys. I want y'all to get it all.
No, I'm not.
It's probably because I was close to that window. We have different Wi-Fi in the backyard because the backyard's too big. I'm just looking to see if you guys have any questions for me. Oh, Michelle just tried Keto Dad's lasagna with the egg life wraps. Quick and easy and so good. I will try yours. Michelle, send me a message and let me know, because I haven't tried the egg life wraps, but I hear a lot of people talking about them. I would love to know, Michelle, your true opinion about which recipe you think is better, or whatever. I love Keto Dad's recipes. All right, guys, oh good, I'm not freezing for everybody. Oh yes, Donna, I've used the Palomini noodles before, and I like them okay too. The consistency's a little weird sometimes, but I've used those myself. Let me check on this this noodle that's in the oven. Okay, let me show you something. I'll pull this out. If I can find one.
You want to eat lasagna?
All right, so I want to show you something. This might happen to you. See how that's bubbling up? It's okay. Just leave it alone. If you want to, you can stick a fork in it, but just leave it alone. It'll flatten back out. But see how it's starting to just turn brown? We want to cook it a few more minutes. I really want it to be brown around the edges. Not burnt, just brown all the way around. So, see, it's already going down. Already going down. Don't worry about it. Just let it do its thing. All right, so it is almost done. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here and start cleaning this kitchen so I can have some conversation with the family. I hope you have a great night. If I can help you in any way, just send me a message. The recipe is in this post as soon as I hit finish, and then I will share it later with a finished picture of the product and the blog that will be updated later with the recipe as well. Guys, y'all have a good night, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.